Hi, hello, it is me again. I know you all love seeing me, and if you're new here, how did you get here? Why are you here, So today, in case you didn't notice that we're listening to my space heater, hold on. So today, in case you didn't read the title, we're going to be talking about the Divine Comedy. Written from 1308 to 1321, the Divine Comedy tells the story of its author, Dante Alighieri, I think that's how you pronounce it, traveling through the afterlife so he can be reunited with his dead lover Beatrice. I'm going to start off by saying I am not used to this filming setup I have. It is new and fancy, and it caused me so much stress, but I got it to work. I have this little microphone here that should be working, and it is attached to this ridiculously long cord. It is 18 feet long. I also will be holding the microphone like this for a while because I don't know where the clip is, and I think that this is kind of a funny gimmick. And also, if you are seeing me not looking directly at the camera, it's because I am looking at my script, which is just right next to you. So, without further ado, let's get in to the Dante. So that's great and everything, but we need to talk about who these people are. Who is Dante? Who is Beatrice? Starting off with Dante Alighieri, baptized Durante di Alighieri degli Alighieri, was born in the Florentine Empire, which would later become part of Italy, sometime between May 11th and June 11th in 1265. In his early life, he met Beatrice Portinari, who he claimed to love at first sight. He soon grew up and was forced to marry a different woman, Gemma di Manetto Donati. The two remained married for 6 years and had 3 children. During this time, he had been fighting in a war with a rivaling nation because it was the 1200s. While fighting, Dante took up writing poetry, and it became his passion. Eventually, he fell back in love with Beatrice and began writing love letters and sonnets to her, and it was this whole thing because he was a cheeseball. Shortly after this, he was accused of financial wrongdoings after allegedly refusing to pay a fine, so in 1301 he was exiled from Florence, where he would remain for 14 years, all the while continuing to write poetry, before said rivaling nation took Florence over and freed him in 1315. It is estimated he was roughly 35 years old when he began to write the Divine Comedy. It was originally going to be called just the Comedy, but he showed it to his friend, and his friend liked it so much that he was like, hey, you should name this the Divine Comedy, and Dante, being Dante, was like, oh my god, you're so right. He created 3 more works after its completion in 1321, and then shortly thereafter died on September 14th, 1321. His use of vernacular speech helped lay the groundwork for what would become the modern Italian language, and he was the first known poet to use the 3-line interlocking rhyme scheme. These large accomplishments earned him the name of the Sommo Poeta, which is the supreme poet. Now, being a Western European in the 1300s, Dante was heavily Catholic. And a lot of his work, if not all of his work, is of a place of very Catholic faith. That is not to say that Dante is an expert on Catholicism or that he represents beliefs of Catholicism in part or as a whole, because he does not. He does not. A lot of the stuff in the Divine Comedy is actually completely theologically inaccurate and is just a whole bunch of nonsense. So take that as you will. All right, now we're going to talk about Beatrice a little bit, just because I got to cover my bases. Beatrice Portinari was the daughter of a banker who, when she grew up, was arranged to marry another banker. Dante said he had only met her twice in his entire life, and that these occasions were separated by 9 years, but that she was so beautiful and charming that he was infatuated with her, which is kind of weird. She serves as the main love interest and motivating factor in the entire story. Obviously, there are going to be more than 2 characters in the story, but it would be kind of silly to go over all of them now, because you would forget all of them. So how we're going to do this is, as characters show up in the story, I am going to mention who they are and give a little brief summary on who they were as a person, or character, because there's a lot of fictional characters in this story, and why Dante decided to put them in the story. Because he was a very opinionated man,